Here's a sneak peek at an upcoming vintage computer feature for this channel. Can you tell what this is just by looking at the back? I'm curious if any of my audience falls under that category. We could see here that we have a power input with a switch, parallel port, a serial port, an RGB output, which is a 9-pin D-sub, presumably for CGA or MDA, possibly even Hercules video output. Could even be EGA if it's really fancy. Any of those use the same connector. Other than that, there's not really a whole lot that's described at the back here. We'll go ahead and continue to have a look. I'm going to pop this little cover right here because there is some interesting stuff in there, at least some stuff that we can see. Or I really don't even have to pop the cover. I could just do this. Show you this over here. You can see we've got a card here with a parallel port and another serial port. I don't know why it's there, and a blank. So this does have 2 expansion slots. Okay, and it's very difficult to remove that. I think I'm going to break it every time I do this. But you can see 2 expansion slots in there, both of which are 16-bit ISA slots. And I believe that the card that's installed now is only an 8-bit card. So again, very curious that it's there, but it's there, so what can you do? You can see it uses these lovely Torx screws. So let's go ahead and flip this around and take a look at the front. The rest of this I could probably do without stopping the camera because as you can see it's got a nice handle on the top, a very heavy-duty handle. We can see here a 3.5-inch floppy drive and a blanking plate here. This is kind of a little messed up. I think I'm missing a couple of case screws. I'll have to deal with that at a later time. Again, this looks like it's a little messed up. I'll have to deal with that. There's a modem down here. RJ11. Alright. It's a little difficult to read that. I believe the other side is completely blank. There's nothing really on it. Nope. Let me have a look at the front of the machine. Alright, it's fairly nondescript. We got power 1 and 2, presumably for our floppy and hard drive, or 2 floppy drives. And of course, power indication. There's our handle. And we got the display, which is probably the most interesting part of the whole thing. Unfortunately, this is a compact portable. It's a portable 38620. I believe it's a portable 3. So it's sporting a 386DX 20 MHz CPU, or possibly an SX. Again, I don't really know a whole lot about this, and I'm probably having somebody in the comments who's angrily berating me that you don't know anything about this stuff. You shouldn't be talking about it. Well, that's how you learn, you know? You pick this stuff up, you experiment with it, and you learn things along the way. Otherwise, this stuff just gets lost to the history of time. So anyway, it should have a keyboard. I knew at one point where this keyboard was, although the keyboard didn't work. Unfortunately, I've missed. It's no longer where it was. So there is no keyboard for this. So I actually had to modify one of my own existing keyboards. We will power this up briefly, but there are some things about it that I will need to straighten out. The other interesting thing is that this actually slides out and pivots. And you'll see what's interesting about this display when I go ahead and power it up. But I'm going to have to warn you, if you suffer from any kind of epilepsy or other photosensitive diseases, you probably do not want to watch the rest of this video because it isn't going to be very good. Now I gotta put this back into place. Okay, this could definitely be interesting. As you can see, the keyboard port is very inaccessible, and I actually had to modify this Cherry MY keyboard in order to fit that, because it was the only one that I could modify in order to fit that. I wasn't about to modify my IBM Model M. So hopefully it goes ahead and works. And again, I'm curious what kind of power usage this thing has. So we'll go ahead and we'll power it up here and see the interesting part first. That is the display, which the camera is actually reacting a little bit better to than I expected. Here's our memory count, a whole 2 megabytes. And of course it'll beep at us several times because these system options are not set, and that is about as far as I can take this, because I do not have the option diskette, the diagnostic diskette, and I cannot seem to actually get it to go onto a floppy. So, oh well, I suppose. go ahead and push F1. The keyboard is working, as you can see. And it tries to read the floppy, but of course there's nothing in it. So it just says non-system disk or disk error. Yes, it is reading the floppy. Okay. So it has no idea what the hard drive is. Just that there is, I know that there is a hard drive installed, but I don't know what it is either. There you go. There's your Compact Portable for now. Eventually I will get this thing going, probably with the G Setup utility, which supposedly will work with this, but we'll have to save that for another time. And oh yeah, by the way, power usage, probably about 60-70 watts. So not too bad. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then.